In this lesson, we're going to talk about transversals. Transversals deal with parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that will never meet. In the figure on the right, the two pink lines, line WX and line YZ, are the parallel lines. A transversal is a line that intersects two parallel lines. In the example on the right, line ST, the yellow one, is the transversal of line YZ and line WX. There are several different types of angles that can be formed with parallel lines and transversals. We talked about a couple of them in the previous lesson. We're going to talk about several more of them today, but we will cover all of them again in the regular geometry class and then some. So the first topic that we're going to talk about today are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are formed when a transversal intersects parallel lines. In this example, corresponding angles are angle 1 and 5, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, and then angle 4 and angle 8. I did want to elaborate a little bit on exactly what it means to be a corresponding angle. So you can see I wrote in the definition or the description of the location is that both angles will be on the same side of the transversal, but one angle will be inside the parallel lines and the other angle will be outside the parallel lines. So let's look at angle 1 and angle 5 just as an example to talk about. So notice angle 1 and angle 5 are both on the left side of the yellow line, the transversal. Angle 5 is inside the parallel lines, inside of the pink area, and then angle 1 is outside of the parallel lines or outside of the pink area. So that is why those are corresponding angles. The same can be said for the other corresponding angle pairs, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, and angle 4 and angle 8. The second type of angle that we're going to talk about today is adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are any two angles that are next to one another, such as angle 1 and angle 2, angle 2 and angle 3, and we could continue on, angle 3 and angle 4, angle 1 and angle 4, and then you can do the same thing for the ones that are next to each other with 5, 6, 7, and 8. They should share a ray, and the two angles that make up an adjacent angle pair will form supplementary angles, which means they add to 180 degrees. So let's look at example number 1. Example number 1 wants us to name the pairs of adjacent angles in this figure. So I'm going to start with angle 1. So if I look at what's next to angle 1, angle 2 is right directly next to angle 1, and it shares a ray. But also angle 3 is right next to angle 1 because they share a ray. So angle 1 and angle 2 are a pair, and then angle 1 and angle 3 are a pair. Now let's go on to angle 2. Now obviously angle 2 shares a ray with angle 1, but we've already covered that pair. Angle 2 also shares a ray and is right next to angle 4. So let's go on to angle 3. Angle 3 is next to angle 1, but again we've already covered that pair. It is also right next to angle 4, so angle 3 and angle 4 are a pair of adjacent angles. So let's go down to angle 5. Angle 5 is next to angle 6, but angle 5 is also next to angle 7. Angle 6 is next to angle 5, which we've already covered, and it is also next to angle 8. Angle 8 is next to angle 6, which we've already covered, and angle 8 is next to angle 7. So in this example, those are all of our adjacent angle pairs. Two more types of angles that we will be talking about are alternate interior angles, which are angles that are inside the parallel lines, hence the interior part, and they are opposite one another, which is where the alternate part of the phrase comes from. So it says that angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate angles. So hopefully you can see by looking at the green that those are both inside of the parallel lines and they are opposite one another. They're on alternate sides of the transversal and they're both inside of the parallel lines. So it says to name another pair of alternate interior angles in the figure. There is only one other pair of alternate interior angles. What do you think those would be? They would be angle 4 and angle 5. And the second type that we're going to talk about today in this lesson is alternate exterior angles. Kind of a similar concept as alternate interior angles, but instead of them both being on the inside, they're going to both be on the outside because of the exterior part of this phrase. They will still be on opposite or alternate sides of the transversal. In this example, it says angles 1 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. So there's angles 1 and angle 8. So you can see those are on alternate sides of the transversal. One's kind of on the bottom of it, one's kind of on the top, and they're on the outside or the exterior of the parallel lines. So number 3 says to name another pair of alternate exterior angles. There is only one other pair of alternate exterior angles. What do you think those are? Angles 2 and angle 7. That is the other pair of alternate exterior angles. Now what I would like you to do is to do the examples below, examples 4, 5, and 6. Thank you for watching this video and completing this lesson. Now you need to go do the lesson 1.4 and 1.5 assessment on edge elastic.